The molecule of more. How a single chemical in your brain drives love, sex, and creativity, and will determine the fate of human race. By Daniel Lee Z. Lieberman and Michelle Long. Praise for the molecule of more. Daniel Lieberman and Michelle Long have pulled off an amazing feat. They have made a bibliography of neurotransmitters a riveting read. Once you understand the power and peril of dopamine, you will better understand the human condition itself. By Daniel Pink, author of Drive and When. And another person. Meet a molecule whose fingerprint rests upon every aspect of human nature. From desire and drugs to politics and progress, Lieberman and Long tell the epic saga of dopamine and as a page-turner that you simply cannot put down. David Eagleman, PhD neuroscientist at Stanford and New York Times bestseller author. I have worked as an artist for 40 years, and the question, why am I like this, has been a puzzle and a mystery, a plea and occasional cry to the heavens. Lieberman and Long have created a roadmap for all those wrestling between insatiable belonging and here and now. Thomas Wilson, actor and comedian. Why do we crave what we don't have rather than feel good about what we do? And why do fools fall in love? Haunting questions of human biology are answered by the molecule of more, a must-read about human condition. Greg Eastbrook, author of It's Better Than It Looks. As a guy who creates music stuff for a living and reads science books for kicks, I was double hooked by the molecule of more. Lieberman and Long lay out the astonishing wide-ranging effects of dopamine with nibble metaphors and fat-free sentences, and the research linking creativity and madness with dopamine as the hidden culprit. Let's just say it hit home. Reading each chapter, I felt myself fitting a key smoothly into a locked door, opening onto a fresh yet familiar room. Robbie Falk, Grammy-nominated recording artist. Jim Watson, who deciphered the genetics code, famously said, "There are only molecules, the rest is sociology." Adding fuel to C.P. Snow's complaint that science and the humanities are two fundamentally different cultures, which will never meet. The author argued provocatively yet convincingly that the molecules that allow us to bridge the chasm between them is dopamine. Though written for ordinary people, the narrative is sprinkled throughout with dazzling new insights that will appeal equally to specialists. V.S. Meshamandran, PhD professor at the University of California, San Diego, and at the Salk Institute and the author of Emerging Mind. The molecule of more. The molecule of more, how a single chemical in your brain drives love, sex, and creativity, and will determine the fate of human race. By Dr. Lee Lieberman and Michelle Long. So, yeah, for Sam and Zach, who opened my eyes to seeing the world in new ways. For Dad, who would have told everyone even if they didn't want to hear it. And for Kent, who just left when things were getting interesting. And yeah, this is it, and the contents, let's see. First of all, acknowledgement page, and introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, 6, 7, how many chapters? 7 chapters. So the introduction is up versus down, and then love and drugs. chapter 2, and chapter 3 is domination. Chapter 4 is creativity and madness, well, interesting. And next, chapter 5 is politics, chapter 6 progress, chapter 7 harmony. So yeah, let me read the acknowledgement page and introduction. Yeah, then I will go with that. We are most grateful to Dr. Fred Breivik to his book, The Dopaminergic Mind in Human Evolution and History. The book introduces us to the fundamental distinction between the future focus of dopamine and the present focus of a group of other neurotransmitters. It's written primarily for scientists, but if you are interested in a deeper look at the neurobiology that informs this book, we highly recommend it. Thanks to our agents, Andrea Sogman and Bentley Levinson of the Harvey Clinton Agency, who immediately understood what we were doing and gave us the validation we hoped to find. Thanks to our publisher, Glenn Yefton at Bang Belly, whose enthusiasm and expertise put us further at ease. Thanks also to the Bang Belly team, especially Leah Wilson, Andrea Young, Jennifer Canzoneri, Alexis Stevenson, Sarah Evingler, and Heather Butterfield, and everyone else there who labored over our work, even if we never met. Plus, special thanks to copy editor extraordinary James Flanagan. He could improve even this sentence and probably in his sleep. And then wishes thanks to Dr. Frederick Goodwin for his many years of mentorships. Dr. Goodwin is one of the world's foremost experts on bipolar disorder. He drew my attention to the relationship between immigration and bipolar genes, and also suggested that I look to the Tocqueville's classic book Democracy in America to better understand the character of America, the United States in the 19th century. Thanks to George Washington University Medical Faculty Association for the opportunity to practice psychotherapy in vibrant academic environment, and privilege of treating people living with mental illness. My patients' willingness to share with me their suffering, triumphs, and hopes and fears is a constant source of inspiration for which I am grateful. Thanks also to the medical students and trainees who ask annoyingly difficult questions and forcing me to constantly rethink my understanding of how the brain works. Mike wishes to thank early readers of Greek Northcott and Jim Allen Hubbard, who confirmed that we had made the science compelling. Thanks to John Miller for the professional example and Peter Nash for the personal inspiration. Thanks also to my students at Georgetown University who reminded me that most of writing is thinking. I wouldn't know how to tell a story if it weren't for the late Blake Snyder, and I wouldn't know how to make it sing without Wise Gilligan. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks also to my brother Todd for the daily jets. Keep it coming. Oh yes, thanks, Mom. Dan wishes to thank his wife Masami for her support, optimism, and good cheer. When the bumps along the road to finishing this book made me doubt myself, those doubts disappeared the moment I brought them to her. Thanks to my sons Sam and Zach, who bring joy to my life and force me to grow as a person. Michelle wishes to thank to his wife Julia for the past couple of years. Extra latitude, you always helped me rant, then kiss me on the forehead and tell me that I can do it anyway. Thanks also to my kids, Sam and Madeline and Brandy, for acting interested even if you weren't. Love you all. The authors together wish to acknowledge their gratitude for the TGI Fridays near the White House, where we so often indulged between control and desired dopamine, the planning and imagination that took place, where it would ultimately collapse into the bits of reality you now hold in your hands. Finally, this book began as an effort by two friends so uninterested in normal pastimes like fishing and baseball that the only thing we could do together was eat lunch more often or write a book. We remained friends, though a couple times it was a close call. Daniel C. Lieberman and Michelle Long, February 2018. So, yeah, let me continue. Thank you.